welcome back to my channel. It is Christian here, and you're tuned in for more of my 2 cents. Oh, I'm so excited about today's topic. It is a viewer request, okay? So y'all know it's gonna be good, because if you make it from the comment section to a video, then that means I am intrigued and I am ready to get into it, okay? But before I do that, let me go ahead and share my 3 points that matter most before we start our discussion. Number 1, you're not alone. Number 2, you're not crazy. Number 3, God, your creator, still loves you. Now, I love some viewer topics and suggestions, okay? I do. And I'm gonna tell you why I love them. I'm gonna tell you why I love the viewer suggestions and topics. I like them because they're things you either are going through, have gone through, want insight on. Maybe it's for a friend or a family member, something like that you considering doing, have done, or you just want to know what I think before you make your decision. I don't know, but I love it because it is so steeped in authentic engagement, dialogue, and connection. And I don't seek to offend anyone. I don't give those disclaimers before I start my videos because I feel like we're all adults, we're all grown. And if you watch content and you subscribe to someone's channel or you keep coming back, you clearly like something about what's being done over there, okay? So I don't operate in disclaimers because I feel like if you have to give a disclaimer, you either A, feel like you shouldn't be saying it anyway, or you can't speak to it authentically, truthfully, or without hurting people's feelings. And I feel like people should be able to express themselves without there being any bias like attached to it or any boundaries that would keep you from being truthful about what you think concerning that. So there's that, okay? And I appreciate that you guys value and believe that I will keep it 100, because I shall, all right? This one is from a viewer. I don't know if you're a subscriber, but girl, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, honey, and like the video too. I appreciate that. The question is one about shacking. Ooh, not Renee and Timothy was living together before they got married, child. Yes, indeed. Y'all probably like, girl, who is Timothy and who is that? Names I made up. Don't take it personal. Don't take it literal if your name is Tim and them. I was just saying something, okay? Shacking. Ooh, woo. What about shacking? Living together, shacking. Sleeping together, shacking. No wedding ring, shacking. Shacking. What's up with the shacking? Okay? I don't like that word. I don't like it. I don't know where it came from. Drop down in the comment section below and let me know where it came from. I'm not going to even look it up because I don't like it. I don't like it. It just makes me feel like, let me tell y'all what I think shacking came from. And I don't like this, but this is in my mind. Shacking kind of gives me the background of like slavery times when they lived in those small homes. And, they were called, what are they called? Shotgun houses and shacks as well. Is that what they called it? Maybe? Like, you know, when African-American Black people who were used as slaves, again, I will say, you know, was with their husbands and their families, and they called their homes little shacks. And they made it seem like our men weren't with us, but they were tearing our homes and our families apart. Is that where shacking came from? And now it's assumed that we do it, by and large. I don't know if that's what shacking means or if it don't, but we gonna roll with that definition, okay? I don't like that. Let's not call it shacking, okay? Let's call it cohabitating together before you marry. Sounds a little bit more appropriate for adults. I don't like that word shacking. I don't like that. 0 stars, do not recommend. I don't like that. But the definition of shacking up is to start living in the same house as sexual partners without being married. I'm gonna lock my phone because I don't need no notes. I'm gonna go straight off the dome. Okay, so here's my take on the shacking. While I do not know of any scripture that teaches against shacking, let me tell y'all what the church said, okay? Let me tell you what the church said. It's wrong. You shouldn't be doing it, right? We've heard the conversation and the, you know, the little sayings about why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free, okay? You gonna let them test drive it before you buy it. Like, why would somebody marry you if they already got access and get the benefits? You out here giving a boyfriend, husband benefits. Make them put a ring on it. Why would somebody marry you if they already living with you, sharing bills with you, and already doing all the things like married people do? I'm tell you this. I am of this mindset. So again, if you've watched the video I did a couple of weeks ago about my husband and I getting married when we were 21. So that was our first time ever living, number one, alone, and number two, with anyone else. Okay. So we never lived with any prior mates or anyone. We'd only lived with our parents. And we never lived alone in our own apartments or anything. I lived by myself for one semester in college in a dorm, but that don't count. Okay. So I don't have any personal experience on this topic. I will tell you my beliefs, and after I talk about the church's beliefs. So the church, specifically Christianity, I was raised in the holiness Pentecostal background. There was a no-go. It was a no, hard pass. Living with someone before you were married was just very much looked down upon as something that was hoish behavior, sluttish activity, harlot, home wrecking tendencies. There are just so many negative connotations put on regular adult decisions. And I think that it's disturbing and it's disgusting, to be honest with you. The fact that adults who pay their own bills and get to choose how they live cannot decide if they want to cohabitate with another man or woman, whoever they're engaged in relationship with, be it sexual or not. I think that it's disturbing that the church world gets to determine whether or not that's okay to do. That's just me. I just think that it's too much. I think it's too heavy on the sauce that somebody else gets to determine whether or not that's going to send you to heaven or hell. But that is the church mindset. Living together before you're married is a sin before God, and it's wrong. And it is a deed that is definitely looked down upon as if you're out of order. And you should not be doing it. And if you are doing it, you would want to keep that a secret because of the judgment that would be passed on you from man, from humans. Again, so are you living to please God, or are you living to escape the embarrassment and shame from your family and friends in them? And I don't like that, right? So with that being the church standard and knowing that that's how the church feels about it, I'm going to speak on it from my perspective, right? I know the implications of not having sex before marriage is a huge conversation in the church. I understand that there is something to be said or seen of the sacredness of being a virgin before you're married. I also understand that the statistics does not support that that's something that people actually practice and do, right? Being abstinent or being chaste before sex and not putting themselves in certain situations or predicaments that you could fall into, sex before marriage and all of that. And living together probably does say, yep, we sleeping together, right? Like it ain't no separate bedrooms up in here. We together, all right? We cohabitating. Girl, you so inappropriate. I'm grown, okay? I'm grown, I'm married, and I got 2 kids, all right? All right. It's just one of those things that I'm going to say this, to each his own. I don't care. I don't. And I really don't think that other people should be that concerned with what other adults decide to do. Free yourself. Now, if you would have called me maybe 2 years ago, I probably would have had this to say. I probably would have said, I don't think it's a good idea to commingle your life, your fun, your finances, your schedule, your time, your emotions like that with a person that you're not in a full-fledged commitment with or to, because of the emotional connection. It still wouldn't have been a spiritual thing for me. It would have been a thing of you're giving a lot, you're investing a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of emotional connection and commitment with someone that you're not sure that you're going to be with down the line. But the same thing can be said of marriage. Like anything can change from now and tomorrow in a marriage, where one of the spouses or significant others can decide they don't want to be married anymore. Or they can decide they want to leave and do that. So a piece of paper, I hate to say it, but a piece of paper and vows ain't stopping a lot of people out here nowadays. So whether or not you decide to cohabitate before marriage or wait until marriage, you can still have the same outcome if it's not going to work out. If anyone in that relationship decide they're no longer going to be committed or in it until the end of time, for better or worse, richer or poorer, sickness and in health. Vows do not need to be made for people to decide they don't want to stay. And even when vows are made, people are still deciding to chunk up the deuces. Shout out to Chris Brown. So whether or not you're honoring, God and taking that commitment and that covenant, right, underneath those spiritual values, or you're doing it and you're saying, hey, we just want to like live together. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. We are in love and we don't want to make it official in that way. You're an adult and you get to determine just how vulnerable you want to be. And that's how I feel about that. As I would say about other things in church, right? The sex before marriage conversation. That's just talking about living together. But even the sex before marriage, if you decide that you want to engage in sexual relationships with other people, and you're not married to them or even in a committed relationship with them, that is your decision. That is your decision. If you think that you are mentally and emotionally stable enough to be out here bed hopping or engaging with people on whatever, serious, or what's that other word? When you just freely, like you do what you want whenever you want. If you feel like you can do that and detach yourself without getting too connected or being emotionally invested and getting messed up internally from that, and I don't mean like on a physical level, but I just mean emotionally, like you're just in turmoil from everyone you're connecting with and how that makes you feel in the breakup of it all, and feeling let down or feeling not good enough. Whatever you choose to do, know that you're strong enough and stable enough to deal with the outcome of that. Because other than that, there's nothing for me to hold against you as another human. Like, that would have to be your own belief that it's wrong to do. Not me. Not me to tell you that it's wrong to do, but what do you believe? How does it make you feel when you engage in these acts and disconnect or get cut off or have to cut people off, or, you're giving yourself to people and you don't feel good about it afterwards, or you feel used, or you feel less than, or you're doing it to fill a void, or you are lonely, right? But the interaction and the enjoyment of it is fleeting. Like, it never lasts. It's a feeling that you don't get anything from. There's no substance there. And there's nothing that actually makes you feel better. Ask yourself, is this something that actually serves me as an action and a choice? Or should I disconnect from these kind of actions so that I can actually gather myself, know what I want, know what my worth is and my value, what I deserve, and who I want to share those kind of intimate engagement and interactions with. These are real conversations that we have to have, and it's far beyond the shacking or the cohabitating. It's far beyond that conversation, and it's more of, what are my personal convictions for my life? What are my personal values? And people giving that autonomy and freedom to choose back to you. Church has taken all of that from a lot of us. Spirituality has removed that decision-making logic from all of us. To be honest with you, some of us have been holding on to these beliefs and these thought processes and values because of our belief system. Because if we didn't believe that, we probably would have engaged in some other things. We would have probably done some other things. I went to my first club at 20. No, I wasn't 20. I think I was 30. I was 32. I think I was 32 when I went to my first club. But had I not been taught and felt as if though the juke joints and nightclubs and all that was bad, wrong, and of the devil and whatever, I probably would have gone to a club prior to that. But my belief system about those environments and that kind of engagement made me feel bad. I didn't want it. I didn't look at it for the fun that I would have had. I looked at it for the sin that I would have been in. I don't feel like I missed anything because I've been to a club and I was tired because I didn't have a section. If I go to another club, my husband will have to drop a dub on a section because your girl ain't standing up. I saw somebody getting stole from right in the club while she was dancing with a guy. He was stealing out her purse. I was like, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to go because up in here stealing and I don't play like that. So there's certain things that just aren't for you, and you'll know that based off of your experiences. If you know you don't want to engage in sexual intercourse with someone before you marry them, that is your right to choose that, right? That's for you to determine. If you get engaged and you decide you want to sleep with your significant other, your fiance, that is your business. Nobody else needs to know that. Nobody. It's people out here that saved themselves until marriage and got divorced. And they're out here wishing they would have experienced other people, other things in their youth or whatever, because they felt like they could have handled that had they done and had those experiences. They probably would have skipped past the guy or the girl they ended up with had they had more experiences. I cannot say what's best for you, but you know. And if your convictions and your beliefs keep you from doing something, just look at it as it is your protection from exposure to things you probably wouldn't have had good outcomes from. I am grateful for my beliefs and my values that kept me from having multiple partners or multiple relationships, because I didn't encounter certain hurt, certain, early onset of trauma or connections with people that I wouldn't have wanted to have. I felt like I dodged a whole firing squad with one person, not a bullet, but a firing squad. Because had I ended up with some of these people or one of these persons, it would have been bad for me. That's just knowing what you know and allowing those values to guide your decisions. So I'm not saying anything is right or wrong. I'm just saying this is what the church says, and this is how I feel about it. You're grown. Do what you feel is best for you. Do what you know you can handle, and that will allow you to stay in the frame of mind that is peaceful and that is sound for you. I don't want anybody to be anywhere regretting decisions or choices in life. So think future tense. Can I see myself with this person? Would I regret the interaction if things crumble or don't go well, right? How do I handle emotional and intimate attachments with individuals? Do I go overboard? Am I more, nonchalant about it? Weigh all of that before you make a decision, but don't just make it solely off of church or the judgment of others, because no one has to know your sexual encounters or your intimate relationship details. That's your business. But the piece on cohabitating, folks gonna know if you cohabitate, if you are selling if you out here, sharing the bills in the bed. They gonna know. So you just determine what that looks like for you, and what are your convictions, and how does that line up with what you desire to accomplish in life, So I say this, like they say, there's no wrong way to eat a Twix. You take that for what you will. All right. Okay. Hopefully I answered your question, and, I gave a little insight on my 2 cents on that. I know people who have lived together before they got married. And they still got married. I know people who lived together before they got married and they still ain't married. They're still engaged. I know people who lived together before they got married and they never got married. They broke up. I know people who lived together and they were never engaged and they're okay with being boyfriend and girlfriend. That is your experience, and you get to decide what the outcome is and if you do it again in life, right? So there you have it. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead, like it, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to add you to the 2 cents crew. Keep the Jesus, I'm thinking about my business. Keep the viewer requests coming, okay? I love them. I love answering from my perspective and giving my 2 cents on these things. Not trying to be judgmental or be harsh or rude or mean or anything like that, but just sharing some different thought perspective on it. And ultimately comes down to giving you back the freedom to choose what's best for you, because that's what nobody else tends to want to do out here. I ain't condemning you, okay? I ain't got a heaven or hell to put you in. I just want you to be happy with whatever your decisions are, okay? All right. Talk to you guys in the next video. Stay safe. Love one another. Treat others kind and all of those things. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.